The website Gawker has published the suicide note of an Iraq War veteran who says he took his own life because the trauma of war left him in constant mental and physical agony. Daniel Summers had been diagnosed with traumatic brain injury, post-traumatic stress disorder, and other conditions related to the war. He ran hundreds of combat missions as a machine gunner and carried out interrogations as part of an intelligence team in Baghdad. Later, he worked with JSOC, the Joint Special Operations Command, as a senior analyst in Mosul. In a letter first quoted by the Phoenix New Times and written to his family before he killed himself just over 2 weeks ago, Daniel Summers wrote, quote, "During my first deployment, I was made to participate in things the enormity of which is hard to describe. War crimes, crimes against humanity. Though I did not participate willingly and made what I thought was my best effort to stop these events, there are some things that a person simply cannot come back from. I take some pride in that, actually, as to move on in life after being part of such a thing would be the mark of a sociopath in my mind. These things go far beyond what most are even aware of. To force me to do these things and then participate in the ensuing cover-up is more than any government has the right to demand. Then the same government has turned around and abandoned me," he wrote. He went on to say, "Any blame rests with them." Daniel Summers killed himself on June 10th. He was 30 years old.
Stories like this have become so common in U.S. veterans. The feeling of abandonment, the traumas of war, and a lacking support system contribute to the ever-growing suicide rates of soldiers. One organization, though, is shedding the light into this difficult subject. Stop Soldier Suicide works one-on-one with troops, veterans, and family members to help navigate the maze of services, programs, and assistance available. Quote, "Our organization works to identify each individual's specific needs, find the right resources to meet those needs, and provide continued support and personalized case management for 24 months. Some of the benefits offered for Stop Soldier Suicide include mental health, PTSD, and other TBI referrals, emergency financial aid, housing assistance, alternative therapies including art therapy and equine therapy, retreats for military veterans and their families, and access to education / the GI Bill." My documentary team and I took to Southern's Veterans Center to get some first-hand accounts from veterans about their experiences with soldier suicide and their opinions about the available health care for veterans.
I was in the Marines. I got out towards the beginning of March, and yeah, I went on a deployment.
I was in the Army, and I did one tour in Afghanistan.
I served in the United States Navy from 1984 to 1992, and no, I didn't go overseas.
Yes, I have, but it wasn't directly military related.
Yeah, 3 people in my unit committed suicide, and then when I got out, I know of 2 veterans personally that killed themselves.
When I was in boot camp in Orlando, Florida, there was someone 2 bunks down from me who did commit suicide.
Well, everybody wants you to, like, maybe back in the day, it used to be like, hey, don't say anything, or like, you're weak if you say anything, but you know, nowadays they're really on the ball, that kind of thing. So, yeah, there's always a lot of different advocates that you can talk to. There's different sources, people that you can go over and talk to, so they got a good handle on that.
When I was in, literally, it was very looked down upon. They used to almost make fun of the people who went for mental health. We called it going to the wizard to look at it, like when really people need help, but it's really looked down on, and almost like you're weak and don't have willpower to be able to just keep yourself strong. So it's really looked down upon. I know when you get out, it's not as bad, but also there still is a stigma, like saying you don't want to make all those people that you were with, like if you're going to go get help, then it makes it look bad. So.
Well, back then, even now, I think it's frowned upon. People are just ashamed of it.
What can you do to help the organization? You can donate because your gift provides mission-critical support to help stop soldier suicide. Hosting an event in your community that supports the mission of Stop Soldier Suicide, and become a sponsor to get your company involved in our mission by sponsoring a case manager.